What, according to you, are some of the biggest KM mistakes that are repeated time and time again?
Well, unfortunately, we do repeat mistakes in KM, and partly it's because KM people fail to apply to themselves the things they speak about, such as learning and applying lessons from previous attempts. But they're pretty obvious what most of the mistakes are. I think one of the biggest ones is the attempt to hurry. Like, we need to do KM today. So some other company implemented it, or a competitor, another division. Some manager gets the idea, oh, I need one of those. Let's buy one. So we'll buy a KM program and have it by Friday. Mm-hmm. And so they rush in, and of course, in such a situation, you're going to repeat all the mistakes because you have no time to learn anything. I signed up to work for the U.S. government to do KM as a 10-year proposition, and I'm just finishing almost 9 years. So I feel like we're finally getting some good success. So the first one is expecting you can do it in a hurry. I think the second biggest mistake is people try to game it. They say, okay, how do we manipulate people to get some different result? They're not sharing, so what do we do? How do we put something there in the maze so the rats will go in the way we want them to go, and we'll get the right answer? And they look at it only as a manipulation game. So make incentives, make tricks, do things that will make people behave in a way that they would not normally behave, but you're going to try to make them behave. That's not KM, that's control. That's what you do in prison camps. The third thing I think people have tried to do as a mistake is to actually buy it. Like, we don't have time to develop anything. Can't we just go see what Google is doing, Apple is doing, go find out what some other, Tata or GM, and we'll just buy their program. Find out who their consultant was, and we'll buy it from them, and we'll get the same result they got. KM is like tailor-made clothes. You don't buy somebody else's tailor-made clothes and it won't fit. And then you'll be uncomfortable, and of course you'll have accidents. Things won't happen the way you expected. I think another mistake is that KM has been sold with a dollar return expectation. So if you go in saying this will, and people sell systems, they sell computer IT solutions saying this will save every employee 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day is $2. $2, 1,000 employees, you save 20,000, whatever. So they make these numbers. They go in and sell these systems, and the manager is still waiting. Where's the money? Of course, they never see it, and so then they lose interest, and the KM system, gets canceled or pushed aside, or you lose focus and priority. So the mistake is trying to sell it on a solid dollar. I think the last mistake is that it's often just been given to the CIO. KM sounds like information, sounds like stuff like that. I have a CIO, he does that. We'll just give it to them. They'll take care of it. And so that's the last time management thinks about it seriously. And then the CIO goes off, and they do what CIOs do, and they're good at it. They manage information and data, and somebody calls it a KM system. And the employees are just left scratching their heads. So, like, what happened? What was that all about? They said all these fancy words about learning, empowerment, people, and then they just gave us some system and told everybody to use it. And so those mistakes are repeated often, and I think they're pretty common, and the people who've been in the field have seen them over and over again, but it doesn't mean people won't do them again.